This movie absolutely sucked, man. 0 out of 10 by default, like all X-Men movies. Because first of all, it's not accurate to the comic book, and it's not with the MCU. Because no movie is good unless it's with the MCU. None. There are only 16 good movies in film history, and they're all with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Simply put, MCU is perfect. No flaws, 10 out of 10. Because the movies provide fan service. And I'm a fan and I demand to be serviced. I don't care if the movie's good or it makes sense. The X-Men movies don't have that, so they suck by default. I mean, come on. The big flaws in this movie is that Logan's not short. I don't care if Hugh Jackman's a good actor. He's not short. By default, that makes him terrible. And worst of all, he's not wearing his yellow and blue suit. I don't care if it doesn't fit with the tone of the movie. He should be wearing that suit. Fox should just give everything back to Marvel so we can have an Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and... Hold on. One second. Just... Okay. Black Panther and... Wait, aren't they a part of the Avengers? Black Panther... Spider-Man and Captain Marvel movie. I mean, that's really what I want. It's a crossover movie. And maybe we'll have the ABC and Netflix characters, because they'll crossover. They will. I swear it. Yeah, they totally will. They will. Eventually. Someday. Simply put in 5 simple words, give it back to Marvel! Alright, am I done? My fucking pandering to you fucking fanboys and everything you want to fucking hear. Like, done now? Can I fucking talk about the movie the way I want to? Please. But I have been please you fucking dumb fucking fanboys. Can I really tell you what I really thought about this fucking garbage out the way? Can I really tell you how I thought about this movie? Please? Thank you. So, Logan, how did I really feel about this movie? First of all, fuck fanboys, because this movie was fucking fantastic. I have a few negatives I want to get out the way, like Dr. Xander Rice. He just kind of shows up, like, midway through the movie, and I'm like, who the fuck are you, and why should I care? I was just happy with Boyd Holbrook playing Donald Pierce in the movie. I was just happy with him being the main villain, but then they threw in this guy, and I'm like, I can give a shit about you. When he died, I didn't even care. I was like, alright, that's one thing out the way. Let's get back to Donald Pierce. Oh, he's dead too. Oh, well. Then there was X-24. I felt this whole thing was a little on the nose about having, you know, Wolverine face his past and what he could have been. I will say he's a lot better than Weapon 11 and fucking Silver Samurai, so there's that. That's a huge plus already. But I don't know, maybe I preferred someone else. I'm not saying some people said Sabretooth they preferred, and I'm like, yeah, that would have brought the whole trilogy together, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So, but I mean, anyone else, but it's fine. I didn't hate him as a character. I would have preferred someone else, you know, other than a clone of Wolverine. And the only nitpick I really had was what happens when Logan's not around and Xavier has his fucking seizure, and he's not around, because Logan and X-23 are the only ones that can survive that shit. Mainly because of their healing factor. When Xavier has his little seizures, people can't fucking breathe and they kind of die that way. Hence why the X-Men died, because he had a seizure. The X-Men died, and the only one who survived, I think, was Wolverine. So what happens when, like, Xavier has a seizure and Caliban is there and there's no Wolverine? Does Caliban just die now? I don't know. I mean, that's just one little... It might be a detail I might have missed or something. Anyway, let's get to the positives in this movie. Hugh Jackman. He's fucking excellent in these movies. Not just this movie, but almost every X-Men movie. He was pretty good. He was one of the best things about the Origins movie and the Wolverine. And he's one of the best things in the original trilogy and in Days of Future Past. So, Wolverine, I mean, it's sad to see Hugh Jackman leave this role, but, you know, he's getting up in age and he can't play this character forever, so... he did a great job in the role for the last, 17 years now? Fuck. 17 years ago I saw the first X-Men movie and enjoyed it, so... Damn. So fucking long ago. Christ, man, 17 fucking years. Between him and Patrick Stewart. So yeah, he was great in this role. I really liked him. especially in this movie, because he just plays this really fucked up Logan. I mean, he's just lost everyone he's ever cared about aside from Xavier and maybe Caliban. I mean, fucking, like, losing Jean Grey was bad enough. Now he's fucking lost all the X-Men, including Jean and everyone else, because Xavier, had his fucking seizure and killed everyone. And this Logan is just all kinds of, like, he's healing slow, he's just messed up, his claws are all just, don't even extend properly. He's coughing, he's sick. I think, if I remember correctly, the adamantium on his bones were poisoning him or some shit, so that really explains a lot. I just wonder why it took so long to kill him this way. Like, that's gotta suck. Then there's Boyd Holbrook, who is Donald Pierce. He's actually really good in this movie, and I preferred him as the villain until Xander Rice and X-24 came into the movie. But he was a really good villain in this movie, and he just this country bumpkin podunk hick asshole who just kind of pops in and fucks everything up for Wolverine. It's just great. He's just such a good villain. I mean, he's not the best villain in the franchise, but he is a pretty decent one for this movie, He's not Weapon 11 or Silver Samurai or fucking William Stryker again or whatever else Wolverine's fought in these movies. He's none of those guys. He's a very different kind of villain in which he's semi-likable. Which has never happened before, because I don't like that fucking asshole who was Mariko's father in fucking The Wolverine. He's a douche. And Stryker is an even bigger asshole. So, there's that. I think that's the thing that bugged me about Xander Rice. He reminded me of William Stryker again. Like, oh, he's just William Stryker, but he's not William Stryker, and he's another guy. He's the guy he's a guy who wants to turn mutants into weapons and shit, just like William Stryker tried to do. And I think that's what bugged me the most. It reminded me of Origins, and that's probably why Xander Rice as a character just fucked me up. Stephen Merchant as Caliban. He was pretty damn good in this movie. I like this Caliban better than the one in X-Men Apocalypse, and I think he was in X-Men 3, I guess? I don't remember. I mean, he spends most of the movie kidnapped and trying to help the fucking bad guys, and he's being forced to help them, and then these bad guys just, betray him in the worst possible way by having him X-24 kill a fucking family. I mean, he's being forced to make a deal with the devil for most of this movie. It's like the fucking genie in Aladdin. It's just, this good guy has to do a bad thing for the fucking help the villain. Jesus Christ, and he has no choice. Patrick Stewart. Seeing Xavier back in, like, the first X-Men movie from 17 years ago and going from that to, like, this movie, it's just such the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. This guy's got fucking dementia, for Christ's sake. It's so sad. He went from this professor who's, like, helps mutants try to learn how to control their powers and tries to help people. And now he's just this fucked up, just mental patient. He's just all rolling around in his chair talking about Taco Bell, and he's, just cursing at Logan every 5 minutes because he's so mad at him for whatever. It's like, Jesus Christ, what happened to you, Xavier? God damn it. This is not the same guy that told James McAvoy, Xavier, we need you to hope again. This is not the same guy. This guy is just in a very bad place. And then, I know they kind of subtly hint at it. They don't actually outright tell you, but yeah, he did kill the X-Men with his seizure. Like, it's like, Jesus. I mean, there was that one scene where he calmed the horses that I really liked. For the first time in that whole movie, he kind of has a moment of clarity, and he uses his powers to help. I mean, he doesn't end up accidentally killing people with his seizures and shit. Then there's Daphne Keane. I really did not think she was going to be good in this movie, because child actors usually have a fucking horrible track record in film, and my God, she blew me away with this role. I mean, she does a really good job. She hardly says anything through most of this movie, but mainly she just fucking slices through grown men. She's killing grown men. Like, this fucking child. Holy shit. But when she does finally talk towards the end of the movie, she is a pretty good actress. I mean, that really surprised the hell out of me. Again, children in film. Terrible bedfellows. Look at Star Wars Episode 1 if you want an example of what I'm talking about. About bad child actors. And trust me, it's not just Jake Lloyd. It's every child in that film. And the two heartbreakers of the movie. First off, Xavier's death. Oh, that fucking sucked. That was terrible. I mean, not like it sucked in terms of quality. It was not terrible in terms of quality. It was just, he's just finally like remembers what happened in Manchester and the mansion, and then fucking this clone douchebag just fucking drives his claws through his heart, and it's like, oh god, fuck you. And then Logan's death was just as sad, especially for some reason. X-23 watching Wolverine die and holding his hand, she's just in tears, and Wolverine's all like, he's just all fucked up as he's trying to talk to her. Kind of reminded me of The Walking Dead Season 1, the Telltale's game, Walking Dead. It kind of reminded me of that scene between Clementine and Lee. I don't know why, but that also was a heartbreaker. That shit just fucking got me. Like, ugh, that sucks balls. Don't get me wrong, they were excellent scenes. I just thought my heart couldn't take that shit. Some of my favorite scenes in this movie was the hotel scene when Xavier has a seizure and these fucking Logan's killing all the goddamn soldiers in the building. That was pretty awesome. The dinner scene was pretty cool. I actually liked that a little bit. Just a moment. It just gives you a moment to breathe. Like, there's no fucking Xander Rice, or I mean, they do come there eventually, and X-24, you know, pulls a dick move on Xavier, but well, I mean, for a moment, you just like, okay, there's no chase. Everyone's just sitting down and like a family and relaxing and, you know, having a laugh or two. You know, it was great. I like that scene. And the car scene. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but this movie has some pretty good humor, and that car scene was actually pretty damn funny.
Okay, shut the fuck up!
All in all, this movie was excellent. It was really well done. I mean, it was the best of the Wolverine movies. It was miles better than Origins and better than the Wolverine. And it's actually even better than the previous X-Men trilogy and the prequel trilogy, to be honest with you. Simply put, this is the best X-Men movie of all. It was pretty damn good. I really liked it a lot, and I think it was a great little end, a bookend for Wolverine's little saga through the X-Men movies. I mean, people say he took up the prequel trilogy. He was only in Days of Future Past and barely did anything in that movie. I mean, personally, this was better than most of the MCU and DCEU combined. Like, this movie didn't have to worry about setting up 20 other movies, having fucking cameos from other X-Men characters and Marvel characters just shoehorned into the film for fan service. No Infinity Stones, no setups for Infinity War. It's just a movie. And this is why I say, like, people should worry about movie. This is what a movie looks like when it stands on its own 2 feet. It doesn't have to worry about, yes, it does mention other X-Men films, but I mean, like, very briefly. You don't just harp on it for fucking 12 hours, like a fucking early season 1 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, where I died, you know, I fought Loki, New York, Iron Man, shut up, we get it. More than half the planet saw the fucking Avengers. We don't need you to keep reminding us that it happened. Sorry, I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recently, and that show just fucking bugs me. I mean, it started to get better once the Hydra thing went down, but it has a lot of work. I gotta tough it out at least. If I could tough out Iron Fist, I can tough out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, that should be no problem. Anyway, back on topic. Logan. Great movie. I know I'm a day late and $1 short with this fucking review, but I love this fucking movie. Well done. Well done. Congrats to all involved. And, you know, let's be fair. We would have never gotten a movie like Logan if it was in the MCU. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That Berserker raid scene in the forest, that shit that violent hasn't even made it into the MCU yet. You know? Just saying. I mean, the most violent thing in the MCU was like a chick punching a hole through a guy's stomach and pulling a gun from a guy that was standing behind the guy that got the hole in the stomach thing. I mean, that was violent. That was pretty gory. Not like fucking Robert Rodriguez, Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie gory, but it was pretty fucked up. But we would never have gotten something even half as violent in the MCU with the guy with Logan. I'm not saying the violence matters. I'm not saying the violence is what makes the movie good. I'm just saying, you know, it just makes sense. I mean, if somebody with 6-inch blades slashes at you, there's gonna be blood flying, okay? Well, Fox did a pretty good job with this. Everyone involved did a pretty good job with this. What's next on the Fox plate? A Matthew Vaughn directed Fantastic Four movie? A Noah Hartley Doctor Doom movie? Oh boy. I mean, you got two good directors there. You got two good, talented little directors, producers, and whatever. But you just know fanboys are going to find everything wrong with those movies, no matter how good it is. Good luck to those guys.
I won't betray them.
You already have.